You know, I've always told y'all that I am not a morning person, that I will not be waking up at 5 a.m. I told y'all this. Okay, stop asking me. Hey friends, hey, welcome back. If you're new around here, I'm Nicaila and welcome to Side Hustle Headquarters. This is Side Hustle Pro Podcast where we talk about all things building your passion project into a profitable business. And today I want to talk about making time when you have none, how to side hustle when you have a full-time job. So I know building a side hustle when you already have a full-time job, family, and life pulling you in every direction, it can feel impossible. It can lead to you putting your side hustle on the back burner, but that's okay. You can pick it up and put it down as many times as you need to. I'm here to reassure you of that. But I also want you to know that time is there. Your time is already there. You just need to take control of it. Controversial, I know. I used to be the queen of I don't have time, which is so funny because I used to have so much time before I had 2 kids, but I digress. The real issue isn't time, it's how you're using it. So what's coming in this episode? I want to talk about number 1, the biggest time traps that are stealing your side hustle hours. Number 2, the exact strategies I use to grow Side Hustle Pro while working full-time. And number 3, a repeatable schedule you can start using today to start making progress. So let's get into it. All right, let's talk about part 1, the time that you are losing. Okay, where is your time actually going? Where is it going? All right, before we talk about finding time, we have to expose these hidden time wasters. And before I even get into that, let me share that I have a confession to make, okay? I was one of those people, those misinformed people that saw this quote back in the day, and I reshared it because I thought it was funny and cute and motivational. And the quote was, "You have the same amount of time in the day as Beyonce. Get to work." Listen, all right, moms, first of all, I want to apologize for all the things I used to say before I became a mom. All right, this is my formal apology. I hope you'll accept it. Let's move on. Number 2, I know what I was talking about. I do not have the same amount of hours. I do not have the same amount of people helping me in those hours, but I do have more time than I realized because I was wasting a lot of time. Still do, but I'm working on that. I don't want you to think this is an episode where I'm talking down to you. We are in this together. We're working through this, but I definitely did do a lot of things that helped me to side hustle while I was working full time. So I'm here to share them all with you. Now, let's get back to the hidden time wasters. Number 1 is that 2-hour social media scroll, okay? You start out to get your mind off what's going on in your life, and next thing you know, you look up and it's been 2 hours, or you look at your screen time at the end of the week and you're like, did I really spend that much time on those apps? Yes, you did. Okay. I don't have time, but spent 2 hours on IG or TikTok. Not anymore. We can't do it. We literally can't do it. And you know what else? I like to think about it as it's not my fault. You know, these apps are designed to waste our time. They are designed to suck our mind away. There are books that have been written on this now, so we know what's going on. So I consider it my duty to kind of beat them, to get back at them and say, no, you're not going to take over my life. I'm going to beat you at your game. I'm going to use your platform. I'm not going to let you use me. So we got to take that time back. Another hidden time waster is the I'll do it later syndrome. Thinking you'll work on your side hustle after work, but ending up too tired. I used to do after work and in the middle of the workday on my lunch hour. I wasn't a morning person at the time, and I could squeeze in 1 or 2 hours after work. That's all I could do. Like I could commit to an hour, but at the same time, I was a person who I didn't have a job that kept me at work till 9 o'clock. So this schedule is going to depend on where you get your energy, what time of day you get your energy, and what kind of person are you, a morning person, a night person. But you definitely, if you know you're not a night person, do not think that you're going to work on your side hustle after work if you know you're going to get on that couch and fall asleep, okay? So be real with yourself. That is a hidden time waster. Another thing is the overcommitment problem, okay? Saying yes to too many things that don't serve your goals. And oftentimes when we're saying yes to too many things, we are trying to please everybody. We're trying to show these people that we care about them. We're trying to show that we are the friend that's there for you, or even the coworker that's down or what have you. I remember one time I went out with some coworkers after work just to, spend quality time, because I felt like I was always saying no. They were always inviting me. And I thought, oh man, they're going to stop inviting me. And so what if they did? Like, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But anywho, I decided to go. And I remember the whole time thinking, like, yes, I was having fun. It was a cool happy hour. But I remember thinking, y'all do this every single Thursday and Friday. And I was calculating in my mind, like, you know how many side hustle hours I would miss if I did this? This is a tradition they had every Thursday, because this particular bar had this happy hour every Thursday. And yes, the happy hour was good, but again, you don't need to go every week, okay? Once a month is fine. You have goals, then you can skip that happy hour. The other thing is the lack of systems. All of this comes down to systems. Everything in your life, I used to think I could freestyle it. No, everything comes down to systems in life, from your business, your side hustle, your health. All of it comes down to systems. And when you feel out of whack, it's because you don't have a good system going. And so you need to analyze the system and then keep trying. Sometimes it takes a while to get a system to work, especially if your life shifted in any way. So for example, I'm still getting my fitness and health and wellness system back together, since my life and the hours and the amount of time I have to devote to it has shifted so much. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stop trying to figure out that system. So I want to, again, reassure you that this episode is not about perfection or I got it figured out and you don't. It's about saying, this is how you can address and assess and move forward. So here's an action step that you can take. All right. Do a 24-hour audit. Track how you spend every hour for a day. Use the Notes app or Google Calendar. Really stop and look at how you're spending your time and try to be as organic with it. Don't try to change up your habits now. Do what you would already do on a regular day. And identify the hidden 1 to 2 hours where you can reclaim time for your side hustle. I want to share another story with y'all, right? So recently, I told y'all how I have an accountability buddy this year. And if you don't know already, my accountability buddy is Mandy, aka Mandy Money from Brown Ambition Podcast. Woo woo! So Mandy and I are accountability buddies, and I was telling her, because I still was not a master of this new phase in my life of all my systems anymore. And I was just like, I just need more time. Like, I just feel like I never have time to think. And she said, well, have you tried waking up earlier? And if y'all have listened to this show from the beginning of time, you know I always told y'all that I am not a morning person, that I will not be waking up at 5 a.m. I told y'all this. Okay, stop asking me. However, when Mandy confronted me with this simple question, I realized, you know what, girl? I need to do this. There's literally no other way, because I'm not a night person anymore, because by the end of the night, after getting 2 kids through the wrestling match that is bedtime, your girl is beat. And then it's time to do the evening routine to get prepped for the next morning. Get, the lunches and the bottles and everything prepped. Your girl is spent mentally, physically, emotionally. I just want a moment of peace and quiet. And that's not when I'm in my best business boss woman mentality. And I need to be in a certain mode. It's like the meme says, you got to get back in that mode. I know for a fact I'm not in that mode at 8 to 10 p.m. I'm just not. So when Mandy said that, I realized when else am I going to get in the mode? Okay. It has to be a morning when no one has gotten up yet and I can have a moment. And you know what I discovered, y'all? I discovered that it's not so much having this time to do work. It's having the time to get my mind right, having the time to just journal, think, pray, use the bathroom by myself with no kids waiting outside or knocking on my door talking about, open. That's what my daughter said. So anywho, it is just having that moment to myself actually sets me up to be more productive throughout the rest of the day. So I thought I would be getting up to do more work, but actually I am getting up And that time is allowing me to be in that mode from 7 a.m., get them off to school, daycare, and then be able to get into my workday way more quickly and lightning fast and efficiently. Whereas before, I would be trying to do that after drop off and trying to do everything for myself after drop off. So that was pushing my work window even further back into the afternoon and shortening the window of time to do work before they got home. So that's just an example of what I learned about my own schedule and the audit I did, and then also the accountability buddy piece that allowed me to take a really honest look at how I was spending the 24 hours and what I could do better to optimize my system. So I want you to reframe your mindset on time. You don't find the time, you make it, okay? You make the time. Time is like money. If you don't budget it, you're going to waste it. So you have to have a purpose for each of those hours. Every successful entrepreneur I know started where we are, but it's about discipline. It ain't luck. It's not about finding time. It's not about one day waking up and magically you've done everything. So all of a sudden there's more time in your life now. Nope. It's about making that time. This episode is sponsored by Skillshare. The online learning community is offering Side Hustle Pro listeners a free trial of premium membership. Now, many of you already know that one of my biggest side hustle hacks is Skillshare. I've been using Skillshare for years now, and that's because it's the truth. I love it so much, I've created a free short course to give you the play-by-play on how to launch your own high-quality video podcast. It's called The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Podcasting, and if you've ever wondered how I get the clear, crisp video you see on the Side Hustle Pro podcast without going into a fancy studio, this is the course for you. The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Podcasting is a course where I'm sharing my favorite budget-friendly equipment picks, my step-by-step training on recording and editing a podcast, and how to create engaging episodes and eye-catching social media clips. The best part, the course is free if you go to sidehustlepro.co/Skillshare. So are you ready to get started? Visit sidehustlepro.co/Skillshare to enroll. Again, Side Hustle Pro listeners, you'll get 1 month free of premium membership over at sidehustlepro.co/Skillshare. Again, that's 1 month free over at sidehustlepro.co/Skillshare. So now let's get into your time plan, okay? The 3-step side hustler time plan. Now that you found your time leaks or how you were not optimizing for time in your day, let's build a system that works for you. So let's get into the power hour method. Do more in less time. And by the way, that is my MO. That's what I always used to stress, and I still stick to that. All you need is 1 hour a day when you're starting to side hustle, because knowing that you're going to have 7 hours consistently on your business every single week is way better than saying, I'm going to do 20 hours a week. I'm going to give some to my 9-to-5, then I'm going to give some to me, and then coming up short. You don't have to overestimate this. You don't have to be overkill. Don't fall victim to grind culture. However, dedicate some time to it. 1 hour is a solid chunk of time to devote to your side hustle. Now, how do you focus this hour? The power hour formula goes like this. You do 20 minutes of deep work. So creating content, working on your product or outreach. Then you do 20 minutes of growth tasks, marketing, network, or customer research. And then you do 20 minutes of admin tasks, email, organizing, back-end setup stuff. And let's be clear, those were examples. I'm not saying you do all of those every single time. So it works because you eliminate distractions, you stay focused, and you get tangible results every day. However, you pick one of those elements of deep work, growth task, or admin task that you want to do in that power hour. And you can also stretch out the whole hour if you want to just do deep work, okay? When I was starting out, I would just do deep work 1 hour a day. That was what would work for me. So I would batch my days, aka devote one specific task to one day of the week. So Mondays were recording. Tuesdays were editing. Wednesdays were either brand outreach or social media content creation, depending on the week. And it would go on and on from there. I would work on what needed to be worked on 1 hour a day after work and 1 hour during my work. And then the power hour formula is another one I discovered that divides up that work. Let's say you have a lot of things occupying your brain, and then once you get to work, you need to get back to some emails. So it just divides up the hours so you don't go down a rabbit hole of trying to respond to everything in your inbox. So you give 20 minutes to some email replies, and the emails that are the money-making emails, okay? The emails that are related to something that is going to drive revenue in your business. The growth task can be something like, in addition to creating content, you want to be researching a little bit. Whenever you're creating content, you want to just be seeing what's new, what's great, what you might want to utilize in the future. So you could do 20 minutes for that. And then your 20 minutes of deep work can be saying, okay, I know what I want to create. Let me actually just spend the next 20 minutes creating that. So your action step from that tip is to pick a daily power hour slot in your schedule, morning, lunch, or night, and commit to 5 power hours a week. I'm going to give y'all the weekend off, okay? That's a focus 20 hours a month on your side hustle. Believe me when I tell y'all, it's going to make a difference. Do your power hours. So now let's get into the weekend warrior system, how to maximize your off days. This is an important trick for side hustling as well. Let's say you are not into the power hours, or you just also want to do more on your weekends. So if weekdays are tight, weekends are your secret weapon. The CEO Saturday formula that I'm going to teach you goes like this. Devote 2 to 3 hours on Saturday. Wake up early. If you have nowhere to go on Saturday, then wake up early. And then do your big projects. So things like content batching, creating 30 days of posts so you don't have to do it after work. Product development, really work and research and test out the kind of product that you want to develop. Spend your time doing everything you need to do for your business in those 2 to 3 deep work hours. Go into outreach. So you can schedule emails that you want to send, schedule them to go out on Monday, but draft them, work with ChatGPT or your AI writer of choice to fine tune them, and then schedule them out to go out on Monday. So you're not disrupting anyone else's weekend. Think about your 1 hour Sunday reset. So plan the next week's task and scheduling. Look ahead at what you have going on. Set aside time to really reset and hone in on each Sunday. Okay, how am I going to tackle this week? How am I going to fit my side hustle into my week? What do I need to do? How do I need to optimize? What time do I need to wake up? And just plan as much as you can. And don't be that person that doesn't open up your calendar on Monday morning because you had the Sunday scaries. Try to get ahead of it. I know the Sunday scaries are real and it can prevent you from wanting to think about it, but try to get ahead of it. I promise you that it will allow you to make the work week easier for you and get more done with your side hustle. So your action step there is to block off CEO time on Saturdays or Sundays or both and treat it like a non-negotiable appointment. When you put stuff on your calendar, it becomes real. So schedule that appointment with yourself and keep it because you are your most important client. Now let's talk about some protect your side hustle rules so you can set boundaries like a boss. Boundaries are also key to this game of side hustling and juggling the side hustle with the full time. Time is your biggest asset, so you have to start protecting it, and that comes with boundaries. You have to start saying no to time stealers that don't serve your side hustle, that don't serve your goals in life. And so here I want to remind you that no is a full sentence. But let's just say that doesn't roll off your tongue as easily. Just try, I don't have the bandwidth, but I appreciate the invite. I'm focusing on my business right now. Let's revisit later. I'd love to, but I'm fully booked this month. Those kind of things. Just be real about what you have going on. A boundary setting email that I would often send is, yeah, I don't have the bandwidth. I'm batch recording right now. I would love to, and I'm honored and appreciative of the invite. However, I don't have the bandwidth, or I'm not accepting any additional projects or interviews or what have you this month because I was so fiercely protective of my time. And you can always revisit, right? Especially when you get into a rhythm, you might not have to say no to everything, but when you're just starting out and establishing your system, practice practice establishing your boundaries and create your no excuses routine too. All right. Batch content in advance. So instead of daily posting, set up a content day, automate small tasks, use tools like Canva, ChatGPT, or Later for scheduling, leverage downtime. So listen to business podcasts while commuting or doing chores, keep the brain and the wheels turning. I'm not talking about before you go to sleep, but when you have downtime that you used to use scrolling on the Shade Room or TMZ or just catching up on Housewives or whatever, carve out a little bit of that time for some podcasts that can help with your side hustle. You'd be surprised at how much that also helps and informs what you do during your power hours. So pick one boundary to enforce this week, whether it's limiting social media, declining a time-wasting meeting, or protecting your morning routine. And speaking of setting boundaries, if you're able to, one thing I used to do at work is I had a recurring lunch hour blocked off on my calendar. So no one could schedule a meeting during the time I was planning to walk out the building, go to Union Station and work on my side hustle. Okay. It was like, no, you cannot schedule during this time. And there were times when some people were like, hey, can that meeting on your calendar be moved? Because it was private. No one could see that. It was just like, I don't want to talk to y'all this hour. So if it was an important meeting, there were times when I was like, yeah, it can be moved this time. I can work around it. But that was a way I made sure that that time was not encroached. Okay. So protect your time that way as well, if you are able to. Now let's get into some side hustle schedules that could work for you guys. Let's go. Here is how to customize your schedule based on your life. Choose the schedule that works for you. You can be a morning hustler, right? So 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. before work. You can have quiet time, no distractions. And sometimes this quiet time is simply used to get your mind right. So you're more efficient, you waste less time, and therefore you can leave work on time or you can actually take a lunch break. So it's still important, even if you don't do actual physical work on your business. The lunch break hustler, I was the queen of that. Schedule 12 to 1, 1 to 2, wherever your lunch is, and have a focused power hour midday. And then you can also be an evening hustler whenever evening is for you, 8 to 10, 5 to 7, 6 to 8. Wind down by working on your business, giving yourself, if it helps too, something I would do is I would stop off at a coffee shop after work to knock out my power hour. Then I would go ahead and continue my commute home. Because I knew once I got home and I saw my comfy couch, it was a wrap. So I had to use my time wisely when I did decide to devote some power hour time after work. And then weekend warrior, Saturday plus Sunday blocks. These are ideal if weekdays are chaotic. And again, do something that can kind of romanticize the act of working on your business on the weekend. Like you can make a list of favorite cafes that you want to check out in your city and then go to one of them for those 2 to 3 CEO hours on the weekend, or go to somewhere else, a museum or somewhere else that inspires you for your reset Sunday to plan out and think of your week. So as much as possible, really try to make this something you look forward to. Think about what would help you look forward to that. Is it changing your scenery, pairing that with something else you've always wanted to do or a place you've always wanted to go in your city? Try out different things that might work for you, because remember, you're doing this for you. This is pouring back into yourself. So this is not a chore. This is something we're looking forward to. So choose your hustle window, morning, lunch, night, or weekend, and commit to it this month. And tell me how it goes. I'm excited to see how it goes, what you choose, how you decide to do it, and how you romanticize it. So in conclusion, you guys, what I hope that you take away from this episode is, number one, audit your time, okay? Find where your free hours actually are. Number two, use the power hour method, okay? Get the most out of limited time. 3, leverage weekends strategically. Build your business in these focused hours. And 4, protect your side hustle with boundaries. Protect that side hustle time, set boundaries, and say no to distractions. And finally, number 5, pick a schedule that works for you. Morning, lunch, evening, or weekend. Be honest with yourself. Pay attention to your rhythms after you audit your time and really pick something that's going to work for you, that you're going to stick with. Now, I would love for you to comment on this video, send me a message on Instagram, or email me, hi@sidehustlepro.co. What's your side hustle schedule going to be? What did you learn from this episode? I cannot wait to hear from you. If this has helped you, be sure to screenshot this episode and tag me at Side Hustle Pro on Instagram and all social media platforms. And with that, I will talk to you guys next week. Hey guys, thanks for listening to Side Hustle Pro. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other side hustlers just like you to find the show. And if you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Instagram at Side Hustle Pro. Plus, sign up for my 6-bullet Saturday newsletter at sidehustlepro.co/newsletter. When you sign up, you will receive weekly nuggets from me, including what I'm up to, personal lessons, and my business tip of the week. Again, that's sidehustlepro.co/newsletter to sign up. Talk to you soon.